The news at 11, we are following breaking news as same-sex marriage is once again put on hold in the state of Indiana. We were the first to tell you tonight that the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has granted an emergency stay in the Indiana case. That puts this week's ruling by a federal judge on hold and means county clerks can no longer issue same-sex marriage licenses. The Attorney General made the request late this afternoon. In that filing, the Attorney General claimed it is premature to require Indiana to abide by Wednesday's court ruling and change its definition of marriage. The filing also said time is of the essence for a stay to protect the historic status quo of man-woman marriage in Indiana. Prior to going to the Court of Appeals, the Attorney General made a similar request for a stay to the original judge in the case, but he has not yet made a ruling. Since the ruling was handed down Wednesday, hundreds of same-sex couples have gotten married around the state. In Marion County alone, the clerk's office has issued more than 500 marriage licenses since Wednesday, most for same-sex couples. But tonight, it's still unclear what exactly this ruling means for those couples. RTV6's Chance Walser joins us live downtown with more on how those who rush to say I do are reacting to the news tonight. Chance.
Local ACLU officials say those who rushed to get married yesterday and the day before will likely stay recognized as a married couple, at least at the federal level, while this appeals process moves forward. The problem comes for those hoping to do the same thing tomorrow. They are simply out of luck. By order of the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals,
there will be no more marriages between same-sex persons.
At least for now. Earlier this week, a federal judge ruled that same-sex couples could get married in Indiana. We saw thousands of couples flooding to those with vested power to help them tie the knot.
We got our marriage license. We met the most beautiful woman in line behind us who was an ordained minister who married us right then and there.
The state attorney general's office filed an appeal shortly after the judge's decision, but still the marriages kept coming. Today, an appeals court granted the state's request for a stay or halt on those marriages while the appeals process is resolved.
We're obviously disappointed, disappointed for all the persons who were planning to get married the next few days who now cannot.
While we're not shocked, we're, I think, both totally disheartened about what it means for Hoosier families who are waiting.
The question now is, will the marriages already performed this week hold up? The ACLU's Ken Falk thinks so.
Our position is that these marriages need to be recognized. It's my understanding that the U.S. Attorney General, in other cases involving stays, has indicated the United States will recognize the marriages in states where there have been stayed judgments after people have been married, and we would expect Indiana to as well.
The Marion County Clerk's office behind me had planned to hold special hours tomorrow to issue those marriage licenses. That will no longer happen. Live downtown, Chance Walser, RTV6.
Still so many questions, Chance. Thank you. Now, since we first reported the stay was granted, we reached out to the Attorney General's office for reaction, and they issued this statement to us saying, during the stay of the district court's ruling, the parties will have the opportunity to submit their arguments to the 7th Circuit in the appeal of the underlying lawsuits challenging Indiana's marriage law, but Chief Judge Young's order of Wednesday will not be in effect. Well, Governor Pence and Greg Zeller are not offering any other comments beyond that, but the state has previously said it is appealing the decision. We were also contacted by Lambda Legal tonight, one of the groups involved in the lawsuit that led to this week's historic ruling. They tell us they will continue to fight and will do everything in their power to win marriage for all Hoosiers. Now, this is obviously a developing story, but we can tell you a stay is not unusual in same-sex marriage cases. They've been issued in several states where bans have been overturned, but how long it has taken to issue one has been the difference here in Indiana. It took 3 days. We'll continue to keep you updated here on RTV6 and on our mobile platforms, and you can catch Indianapolis This Week on Sunday, where same-sex marriage is our main topic.